All right, I'm back. Hope everyone is doing well. Today I decided to check a little bit the altcoin markets. Recently I've been posting a lot of videos about Bitcoin and Ethereum because I think they're driving the general narrative. But still, people are asking, what about altcoins? Should we buy them? Should we not buy them? And so on. And I just decided to have a quick look. But before we touch the altcoins, I just wanted to give a little bit of explanation how I decide the trends. This is not like the definite tool, but it's a really nice way of defining when the trend is turning, in my opinion. So it's a helpful tool, in my opinion. Recently, I showed you this trend line. I've been watching it on the daily. It looks nicer, but you have four touches of this, and then the trend broke. But I just want to give you an example how I use this tool in general. So I just want to go a little bit back into the past, just draw a couple of trend lines just to see how good this actually works. Obviously, there is some bias there and some hindsight, but still, general, you can use this type of trend lines to define the trend reversals. This is now on a weekly basis, but because it's just a better time, so this is not too clear. But so just to give you an example how I look at things, just to give me a clear understanding. Okay, is the trend up or down? That's the only thing I want to check. And you can see with this, and now if we go to the daily time frame, even here the bottom, there is some trend line that was broken, but as I said, this is not a perfect tool. It's not a one fit for all. You have to work with it a little bit, otherwise it's not. But it's in the hindsight, it works pretty well. So you can pretty well define, okay, now we're in an uptrend, now we're in a downtrend. It's not as exact when at the exact time when the trend turns, but it gives you, okay, now we're in downtrend or now we're in uptrend at least. This was just an example I wanted to show. And as I mentioned earlier, I want to touch on more on the altcoin market. So as I mentioned in previous videos already, I think the Bitcoin chart looks horrific. I think we're in a downtrend. I think this will continue. Usually I don't like to post targets because they're difficult to assess. Like things can change and that's why things move, so targets move and so on. But still, like at the moment, I'm expecting 20K-ish. If things go worse, it can go even lower. But for now, with all the information we have, I'm looking at the 20K. Now let's go to Ethereum. So for me, Ethereum is sort of a proxy for alts in general. And as you can see, it also broke the trend. But what I noticed just recently is if we go even further back, you can draw the same trend basically to the beginning on a weekly chart like this. It fits really nicely. So this is since the beginning, since 2016. So this is a 7-year-old trend line, which was just recently broken. This is definitely not a good sign for alts. So yeah, I wouldn't be buying them yet. If you have a massive exposure, I would sell. I see more downside. I'm not saying just in general, but this is just a general statement. But if you have any specific altcoins that you firmly believe, that's a different story. I'm just talking about the general market sentiment. So yeah, if you look at Ethereum as a proxy for alts, this looks horrible. If you look at Ethereum versus Bitcoin, also like we have this trend line, which was also broken. How far does it go? Yeah, this doesn't fit, but still, like this is a pretty long trend line, like 4 years old, also broken. And I would say this is quite important. So at the moment we're going down, you can see like the trend is down. And what would it take for me to change my bias? At least breaking this trend line above. So if we do something like this, like, and then like this, that would be a trigger for me. Okay, now I can start looking at altcoins in general a little bit more. Until this is the case, I'm not touching anything. That's just my personal opinion. Usually Bitcoin leads, so around the Bitcoin halving and slightly before it a little bit maybe, Bitcoin starts railing, and it usually leads the pack. So that means that alts would probably stop bleeding at that point when Bitcoin starts going up against USD dollar, not against Bitcoin. So depends what you want to achieve. I still think in the first phase, Bitcoin has more upside. Later on, I think Ethereum and other altcoins will outperform just in percentage wise. But you really need to know which altcoins to buy, because I think with the vast amount of altcoins that we have at the moment, I think in the long run most will underperform. So you need to have a good pick of your altcoins. I'm just talking about the market sentiment in general. I think this is really not looking good, and I just want to go like over a couple of other charts as well. For example, Litecoin just had a halving, and this was basically the pre-halving pump. And as you can see, it didn't do much, and now we're in a downtrend again. You could do sort of a trend line here as well, some sort of, not as clean. Let me open this on the daily. We definitely have a break, and it's this type of breaks, they usually tend to continue. So as I said, like alts in general, like basically every alt I'm looking at, the charts are horrific. So this massive green candle, XRP, that was on the day that XRP won the lawsuit, and we basically retraced the whole move, which means for years people were waiting for the result of that lawsuit, and it gave, I mean, in percentage wise it was a nice pump, I'm not saying, but it was almost 100%, which is nice for a day. But for something that people waited for such a long time, I would say that's like it retraced really too quickly. So yeah, even XRP is looking horrible. Lido, which is sort of a proxy for Ethereum anyway, also basically making new lows as we speak. This is on the weekly. It's Friday today, so it's highly likely this will close like this. Also not looking too good. Just make a trend line. As you can see, trend has been broken for some time now. And as with Ethereum, I would say I would wait at least for something to break this trend. So for the price to go above this, maybe something like this, then I would start buying it again. Not before, because it's just catching a falling knife at the moment. Like this could go really low. This could go down to here. And that's a big move. Binance Coin. This one is interesting. This had a massive rally in 2021. And in trading, what you call this is an inefficient move. Why inefficient? Because it just went straight up. If you see like this move is go up and down and up and down, you have a general trend, but that's much more price action. Since it broke the 35-ish, 40-ish area, it basically just teleported to 220. And this is usually something that the price retouches or touches again. So in my opinion, like this looks really heavy. And if we do break this, if we do get the break of this, let's say like this, I see a lot of downside. I'm not saying it needs to touch this area, but yeah, I think this won't be a small move in percentages, and at the moment it looks really heavy. I think the only thing that's still preventing this to going down is basically just CZ pumping it as much as he can without losing too much money, but it definitely doesn't look good. Link Marines. This has been hugging the support for a very long time. At this point, I thought, okay, we are breaking the trend now. This might go somewhere. I think no, we just touched it, but it didn't materialize. So this was like the last ditch, and now I'm like, I really don't like it. Like this can go also lower. Or maybe we just do like sort of a deviation or something like that, but I don't see any bullish scenario as of yet. So if this starts pumping and it breaks this trend line, I'm bullish. If this breaks below the support and reclaims it, I'm bullish. Until then, I'm bearish. It just doesn't look good. Dot. I really like what the Polkadot is doing with everything. They have some issues in general, but I think like they're quite strong. They're building really strongly. I became quite bullish here, but it failed to materialize. And at the moment, it just, again, like almost all of the alts, there are some exceptions, but they're like hugging the support, and it's definitely not looking really good. It just is what it is. And as like with everything else, I would say I need to see a little bit more positive price action. It just looks horrible. I won't even go there. Mana. So this has the massive. This doesn't show the whole chart, so that it doesn't look as good as it actually was. So Mana actually the chart goes much further back. I'm not sure which exchange has it for longer, but still, like, this is a clear downtrend, hugging the support again. Like with every other coin, you have a clear downtrend, and until this is broken, I'm not touching it. Just I don't see it. Sol. So this one is a little bit different. It doesn't look as shit in general, I would say. Yes, we're still under this major resistance. Something like this. We're still under it, but still, like, the price action is making higher highs. So that's something I like to see. I'm not saying it's super bullish, but it's more bullish than most other altcoins. And if you look at this, like, it kind of broke the trend line. This one is like this probably. So yeah, this one is. I'm not so. Solana has a lot of legacy, especially with FTX. But just looking at the price action, not looking at the backs, like the chart is not too terrible. So like this is a pretty good indication. As long as we can stay above this line, it's not too terrible. As soon as we start breaking down, I would say, okay, now it's getting in the same territory. But just the general strength against other altcoins is already a breath of fresh air, I would say. Not sure what to think about this. I guess it's not as bearish as some other things, but also not the most bullish thing in the market. I would wait like for this triangle to resolve, just to see the direction. But as I said, I think as long as we have Bitcoin weakness, in general, you don't want to long altcoins, even against US dollar. It just doesn't. It's not the best scenario. Ava looks shit. I know they're building like I think the tech behind them is quite good. I'm hearing really good things about them. Just looking at the chart is not. It's not the best look. We have, if we close like this, this will be the lowest close in, I think, what is it, 21, like 3 years almost. Sorry, 2 years. Also not a good look. Pepe coin. Just shit. I don't like the meme coins. Like we can go. This doesn't have as much history, so it looks shit on the weekly. But yeah, we can draw some trend lines as well. This was bullish. This started to become bearish, and we had some bounce here. This was just like it just went basically to the previous resistance. It was just a bearish retest, and then we had a full-on nuke. So yeah, bearish as well. Atom, bearish, completely bearish. Let me look at this on weekly. Okay. Also trying to make a lower low. Maybe not as bearish as some other altcoins, but still. And this is something I'm actually looking at. So if I'm seeing a coin that is less bearish than other coins in a bear market, that's like one of the things I'm looking at. And then I'm just waiting for a trigger. And like this trend line would be a trigger for me. So the moment I think it's bearish. It has some bearish. So we broke this trend line, I would say. We can go even further back like this. Until we reclaim this, I wouldn't be buying it, but it's showing a little bit more strength. Matic. This one is pretty interesting. So the chart at the moment is not as bearish, I would say. But what I find interesting, I think, is that it didn't lose as much value from the top to now as a lot of other altcoins. So it's minus 81%, which sounds like a lot, but minus 80 and minus 90 is a lot. It's a big difference. So that's like we would lose, if you look like 90%, like most other altcoins are 90% down. This is just basically this. That's another 50% down. So in general, from here to here, see, it's another 50% down. So it lost 50% less basically than some other altcoins. So there is relative strength there for this. But still, at the moment, not the most bullish thing on the market. We broke the trend line. So it's showing some relative strength in general, but also at the moment quite bearish. Discussed Lido already. Tomo. This one is also showing. It dropped a lot, in my opinion, from the top. Yeah, like 93%. Then more recently, it started showing a lot of strength. So we saw quite a strong rally. And this is what I'm talking about. When the trend breaks on something that's a long term, like there are huge potential you can tap into. Look, this was like 600% pump. That's insane. It's breaking the trend again, but it's showing a lot of strength recently. So maybe something to keep an eye on, basically. I like coins like this. I really like them. You could argue that the trend was broken or is being broken until this. So that's not the best look. I think we missed this part. Like I missed it, but it just like this is something you're looking for. Like there is a reason why this was railing. I'm not aware. If someone is aware, like please leave a comment. But this is quite a good pump. Quant. This one is a little bit more recent coin, so it doesn't have as much history, I would say, as some other coins. It's definitely on a downtrend until this gets broken. Can even do it like this, maybe, just to make it cleaner. It's hugging like basically it's exactly the price of Binance listing. So yeah, this is not just hugging, and it doesn't seem like it looks heavy against it, but I think these are the newer-ish coins that have the potential to pump more, just because there are less backholders trying to dump and just saving their positions in general. Curve. So I really liked Curve for a long time. Like it was a promising coin. Unfortunately, I think like something like 40% of all the floating coins are owned by the founder, and that's never a good sign. So the founder bought like 2 mansions in Sydney or something. He took a loan against Curve. So yeah, looking at the inside what's happening Curve, I really don't like that. Like even if technically it would look good, it doesn't. I'm just saying even if it would, I wouldn't be touching it. I had some Curve, I sold it. I don't like exposure to coins that have such Ponzi-nomics behind. Like if someone owns half of the float, like that's ridiculous. And that's also why I don't like Ripple, just because the Ripple Foundation owns such a big piece of it. So those are the things I really don't like. And even technically speaking, it's not looking good. It's making lower lows. Yeah, I don't like it. Doge, the main meme coin, the original meme coin, looking heavy. Yeah, we had a little bit of a break here. Looking really heavy here. The thing with these coins is there are a lot of backholders. Like this pumped, and a lot of people bought in above the current price, and they will sell as soon as they break even. A lot of those people will sell. And if you look at how much, so we retraced 91% already. It doesn't look on the chart, but like that's ridiculous. Look, just the price movement on Doge were like insane. And as with BNB, that this is just a massive catapult to this price. So if this breaks, we probably revisit this 0.01, which is a big drop. Like even from here, like to get somewhere here, like it's another 80% ish just to get to here. And that doesn't mean like we stop there. So yeah, if you have some Doge left, like you can always rebuy. Like I would sell, but if you see some strength, like you can always rebuy it again. Just don't blindly hope this will just go up. Like what I would do is like I would I would see like maybe it holds like, but if it starts breaking, definitely sell and then rebuy. Like if you're into Doge or something, I would just wait for the break of this trend line or for general more strength. Sui, this is really a new coin. This was just recently listed. It's a promising coin. They had a lot of VC funding, pumped a lot. I don't think people were able to buy this, as far as I remember. But ever since, it's just in a downtrend. Look at this. It just keeps bleeding and making lower lows. Not looking the best. Yeah, we could argue this was a little bit of a break. But I like this was probably quite bullish, but that's when all the whole market turned upside down. So it was showing some strength here, but now it looks more like just a fake out. If this closes like this, or even if we close slightly above it, just like it's not showing strength at the moment. It's just, it's not looking the best. So even from this perspective, this was support, it closed above, closed immediately, retraced immediately everything, and this now becomes a deviation. So I wouldn't be buying this. I could go on and on, but like I think I showed my point. Like most of the coins, they don't look good at the moment. So I wouldn't be like I showed everyone like what I'm looking for, like what kind of triggers. Until then, I would just stay away. I really would. They don't look good, and I would just wait for the market to turn in general. Because with altcoins, you can always make another 80% drop down, which is really painful. I know people think, okay, yeah, I already lost so much, but then you can always lose a lot more there. Like just it can continue to go. I remember when Luna dropped from 200 to 5, I think, something like that. I bought some Luna at $5, and okay, this should be a good deal. Like an hour later, it was $1, and as you know, it went to 0.000 something. Like it can really go down from whatever price you're buying and how much it dropped. Like it can continue to go down like insanely. So just the fact that price is down doesn't mean it can't go down much more. Just my advice. Cool. I hope this helped some people. If you like this type of videos, please hit like and subscribe. And I'll be posting more of this in the future. Thank you, everyone. Thank you.